what's up, guys? Alright, so we're going to do a video today on CB radios, tuning, antennas, and PA systems. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my setup. This is a K40 antenna right here. I'm going to go into detail about this setup in just a few minutes. But let's go inside the pickup, and I'm going to show you how to tune this bad boy. Get in.
They have Jack's hearts all over it, so we're thrilled. It makes us feel like we are giving back to all of the people that have given to us. Inside the music.
Alright, guys. Here we go. I got to roll up the windows for this. Alright, point it at me. Alright, guys, so this is the radio that I got. I have the 29 Cobra 29 NW LTD. Alright, and I have the 12-volt power plug with the 3-prong female. I mean, 3-hole female. It's a little joke there. Alright, so here it is. So let's turn this bad boy on. Let me turn the radio down. It's just off. However it turns off. Oh, yeah, you turn this damn thing off. There ain't no power button. Alright.
No, that's why I just put the volume down.
Okay, so here it is. This is my setup. Let me move all this crap. Alright, so here it is, guys. This is the, I got it. This is the Cobra 29 NW LTD Classic. Alright, so I'm going to go over a little review of this radio. Anyway, so it's on, it's powered. It's, okay, here is the SWR meter. It's really freaking hot, and I got the windows up. I'm going to turn them down until we start tuning, because it's hot. I'm here in LA, and today it's 85 degrees, so it's a scorcher. Alright, so here it is. This is the SWR meter right here, right? And then here's all the switches. Now, it's really hard for me to get in there because of where I mounted this thing, okay? So, alright, here we go. Now let me show you how to calibrate this thing. Which there's a lot of videos on YouTube, that talk about this, and I've been through them. I've watched a lot of videos on this, and they just weren't answering the questions that I had and the problems that I was having. Hopefully, I will be able to do that today and show you how to do this and how I was instructed to do it, and I'll go over that in a minute. Alright, so going back to the radio, here we go. So when you put it to calibration, and if you go in the book, it shows you how to do it. You hit down the mic, and you see this SWR meter. It's barely moving. Hold this for a second right here on the meter. Okay, watch your finger. And then this button, or this knob here, show my finger with this knob. This is the SWR calibration knob. Okay, go back to the meter. Mm-hmm. Now, watch this meter jump. It should jump. Oh man, my radio's already been, hang on a second, let's see if we can get it over there. Actually, I think the door's got to be closed. You gotta close that door, young man. Now let's see. I can't see. It doesn't seem to be jumping over to where it needs to be. There's a line on there, and it's supposed to. Hang on a second. Let's see if we can get. Let's do this, and then swing that sucker. Alright, so it's not going to calibration for some reason. Well, this video is starting off very well. Anyway, it's supposed to jump all the way over to that line when you haven't calibrated it already, okay? Now, let go of the mic. When you let go of the mic, you go, see this knob here? Going back to SWR. Oh shoot, wait a minute now. Hang on. Hold on, guys. I missed a step. Let's go back to channel 20 to where it's supposed to be. I'm going to hit down to calibration. And we're going to move this knob back a little bit. Now let's see what we can get. Okay, it moved a little bit farther on there, but it's not quite where it should be for some reason. I don't know why. Alright, so anyway, we're going to scratch that. So let go of the mic. Leave it in the same position. Hit it back up to SWR. And hit the key. Or key down on the mic. Now, it barely swings on the meter. Right? You see that, guys? Barely swinging. That's where you want it to be on that SWR meter. Now, this stands for Standard Wave Ratio is what it stands for. Okay? SWR. Now, when I had this issue before and I couldn't solve the problem, come back up to me. There's a RXTX on this. Go ahead and show that. RXTX, and then there's the antenna. There's the antenna light. Now this was coming on every time I would key down, and the SWR meter would shoot way over here. It was completely wrong. I thought I hooked it up right. It wasn't hooked up right. Okay, now, right now it's hooked up right. If it wasn't, like I just said, it would swing way over here to the right, which it's not supposed to. It's supposed to stay to the left. Mm-hmm. Okay, so once you get it calibrated, if you don't have one of these, you have to get one. They're manual. You have to get the manual one. That plugs onto your rig, your unit, so you can use and calibrate your antenna exactly the way you need it, okay? Alright, so once that's done, then you switch it back up to what is called SRF, okay? Let me show you that. SRF, okay? Now you're ready to go. Now look at the SWR meter. See how it swings? That's where it should be. That's pretty good. Now let me show you how I got to this. Let's go outside. Alright guys. So this is what I showed you before. This is the unit. This is a K40. This is the coil in here. If you stretch this thing, there's like 200 feet of cable in here, of coax, copper, to get the signal that you need. All right. Now, the guy I went to, I'm in Los Angeles. I went to the guy is CB Radio Viking. He's off of Telegraph Road. I think in Bell Gardens. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, CB Radio Viking. Guy named Victor. He's a great dude, knows what he's talking about. Anyway, so the first thing that he did, he hooked it up to his own SWR meter, right? And found out what was wrong with it. And he came out and he looked at my rig, and when he saw this, now this is what I had before. Let me show you. This is when I bought it originally. It was down here. This part was down here. I had this down here, okay? Now, he told me right away, he goes, this is wrong. This has to be above the cab. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So that was the first issue. This was down here. It was behind the cab. Now look where I did it. I put it right in the bed. Yes, I put it right in the bed. I don't care. A lot of people, you know, they get all funny about it. Oh my God, don't punch holes in your truck. Well, I didn't care, so I punched a hole in my truck. All right, so this is where it was. It was back here. It's behind the cab. It was getting a bad signal, okay? Now, we extended this and got it above the roof and the cab. This gives you a better signal if you have one of these type of rigs with this coil in here. If you had a fire stick, doesn't matter. You can mount that dang thing anywhere. I mean, I've seen them on big rigs. They, you know, put them on their mirrors. They put them on top. Doesn't matter where you put the fire stick. In this particular one, because there's a coil in here, it has to get a better signal and above the roof and not behind the cab, okay? Now, I like these because of the whip on here. The whip is really neat. They, you know, they're very flexible. You can smack into them with all kinds of stuff. You can go into parking structures. It doesn't matter, right? With the fire sticks, they have that heavy coating on them. You know, you smack into stuff over time, it starts ripping that coating. And the thing with the fire stick is that copper that's in there to get that transmission and that signal is all the way through the fire stick, okay? This, like I said, is all in here, and you can put the width. Now, with this, putting it this high, I had to trim this. Victor at radio, CB Radio Viking, we had to cut this down about 6 inches, okay, on these type of units. So there's a little set screw in here. As you can see it, you can probably see it in there, right? See that little set screw? Okay, you can take that out, and you can either use bolt cutters, whatever you know, wire cutters, some heavy duty wire cutters, and you can cut this thing down. Now, you cut it just a little bit. When you install this, when you have this set up, you're not gonna get this big long thing. You're gonna have to go buy it separately from somewhere that sells CB equipment, okay? If you're gonna set it up like this, or you can mount it to your roof, then you'll be clear. But once you put it back together, and then you come over here and do the calibration, right? Look at me. When you do the calibration, you're gonna get that SWR meter, and when you do it properly, and if it's still swinging over to the right where it's not supposed to be, then you cut this down. Cut it down about 2 inches. Hook it back up. Make sure you have, come over here. Make sure you have, obviously, your antenna hooked up properly. Also, this here, this little plastic insert, very important. Very important. Yeah, they can't see your finger when you're pointing at it. They can see mine. All right, see that is very important when you're going into a mounted bracket, or you're going into the truck bed, or in the roof. Doesn't matter. This is very important. This is what grounds, keeps it from grounding out, and you're getting the proper signal you need. Okay, now we're transmitting here because I've already hooked up my rig once before. Now let me put this back.
You guys can hear it. You can hear the...
Okay, I put this on here because with this, you know, sometimes you can even get a better whip, right? This thing will whip around. Now, this thing is not in here very well. I gotta, you know, mount something here and keep this a little bit stronger. I tried to keep it as strong as possible. Anyway, all right. So, let's get back in the rig. By the way, guys, if you haven't noticed already, this is a Dodge Dakota. 4x4. Anyway, it's got 4 doors in it. Really nice little truck. Really happy with it. Alright, so, see how that thing's swinging? Right there? That's where it should be. And to get that, you have to cut it down little by little. If you have either a K40 or something similar to that setup that I just showed you, okay? Now, here it is. Okay, here's Okay, so obviously, you know, this is the volume right here, this little thing. Now the inside knob, with my big finger in the way, is the squelch. I know that's probably pretty freaking loud, guys. Sorry. So that's the squelch. As soon as you hear nothing when you're turning it, you're not getting a signal, or you're only going to get the strongest signals coming through, okay? When you put it back a little bit, you're going to get a little bit of a weak signal, but it's going to be really loud, all right? Anyway, I don't like to have it loud, so I just like to have it just a little bit, and I turn it back just a little bit so I don't hear all that modulation. Now, okay, it's still going here. We still got, dang, okay, I better not have it like that because it's probably going to be all funky with the recording. Alright, so that's channel 20. No antenna light. Look it, when I key down, no antenna light.